disagree with what Oliver is saying. I had the opportunity to handle a matter, the Republic versus the National House of Chiefs, Kumasi, expert in Abi Mensah and others, where there was no prior demand and no refusal, but the mandamus was granted. I made it my prime point in going to the court to have these things quashed. The Supreme Court said no, in view of Article 23, which seems to have imposed a duty on all administrative powers, bodies, to adhere to their own rules. When you do not follow the rules, it gives the person who is affected a right to come to court and to seek redress. So as far as they are concerned, in view of Article 23, even when the person did not request and there was no refusal, what the court did was okay. So I will remind counsel and others to look at that report, Republic versus the National House of Chiefs, Kumasi, expert in Abi Mensah and others, 2011. That is what the Supreme Court said. There's so much a responsibility on you to go according to the rules that or the laws that set you up, and you cannot do what you like and claim that somebody must have to make a request first. That even if no request was made, even if no refusal, you still are under a duty to perform. And so they went ahead and upheld what the High Court judge did.
We are familiar with the expert Alhaji Collins Dauda case, in which the courts effectively said that in a parliamentary election where the electoral process have been substantively carried out up to the point where a candidate has been declared elected, then, that will be valid and a petition can be brought to challenge that. So do you think in the circumstances, what the Supreme Court has done now, the status quo ante has not returned, so that in these 4 constituencies, these people are duly declared and the EC doesn't have the power to do a re-collation?
I do not agree with this issue whether or not the EC has power to do re-collation. I don't agree with those who say the EC has no power. I'm looking at the constitutional provisions as against the CI 127, which is a subsidiary legislation. And looking at Article 45, it reads that the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions: C, to conduct and supervise all public elections and referenda. Now, at the end of the CI 127, you find that it is the EC which must gazette the results and forward it to Parliament. We are not talking about any returning officer acting. We all know that the EC has a small number of permanent workers, and that around elections, what we do or what they do is to employ or recruit a lot of temporary workers. So this stuff cannot be substituted for the EC itself, as if they are those who have the final say on the matter. They are supposed to work under the supervision. Even if you look at the regulations dealing with the returning officer, he works under the supervision of the district election officer. You see, so at the end of the day, everything comes back to the EC. And when you assume, you don't sue any returning officer, you always sue the EC for something that you think has not been done. These are people who go to assist them. And so in my view, so long as Article 45C has not been amended, that it is the Electoral Commission that shall, the functions include the conduct and supervision of all public elections, they have every right to look at it. They cannot sit down. We have all said that when there is fraud, it vitiates everything. Fraud is not different from dishonesty. We are told that the returning officer can only collect the results from all polling stations. We are being told that in most cases, all the results were not in. Under what circumstances did they declare the results? And you are saying that the EC should look on when it is his duty to organize these elections, and these are people who are only supposed to have, and between me and you, we know that when it comes to the recruitment, there are all sorts of things that take place in the recruitment. And so there are some who are there who are not necessarily going to do the work for Ghana, but to try and assist other people. You know that as a fact. But they cannot sit down and look on when some of these things are happening. Over 31 polling station results have not been collected, and you say somebody has been declared. The circumstances where you allow that is where you are saying that, even if we, in view of the unassailable, lead that the person has, even if you add all those that we have not counted, it will still not make any difference. So let it go on without it. But you are talking about 31. When we know of MP3, somebody winning with only 3 votes and the rest, and you are saying the EC must accept it. So, I think the Constitution should override the CI 127.
Yes, so the question will be, the court will determine what constitutes an error for which the constitutional provision you are referring to will apply.